All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what I think is probably one of the best features that we built into WebinarFuel. With automated webinars, you create a schedule. So you can see right here, pretty much every platform is going to let you create a schedule. And that schedule, if you look at it, kind of lets you tell people when the webinar is taking place. So for instance, mine is 3, 6, and 12. Every single day on this particular schedule. Now these schedules are dynamic, meaning that you can go in and you can create one that's happening every day or happening on a specific day at a specific time, more like if you would do like a live webinar, you want to put a lot of people on at one time. You can have it be every day at a certain time, every week on a certain day, so basically every Monday at a certain time. You can have it every 2 weeks on Monday at a certain time or any day of the week. You can also have at the beginning of the year is when it starts, or you can have a custom start date, meaning starting tomorrow every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? You can have it every month, and you can pick that specific month, right? Every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, whatever. In other words, you can create whatever type of schedule you want. You can have a timing that says join now, and you can join a session in progress, and you can skip the time of the webinar to say like 1 minute in, so it truly feels like somebody's joining in the middle of a session that's in progress. We also have the just-in-time features, okay? So you can have a webinar that starts tomorrow at 8 p.m. In other words, there are so many different schedule setups and times that you could possibly think of here. One of the big questions people always ask is, what is the best schedule to get the most people on and to make the most sales? And the reality is that it's virtually impossible to test that, because what you would have to do is use your schedule here and say, make these 3 sessions. And then next week, you might change it to a different schedule. And then you got to try to figure out, was there anything that happened? Like, was this week a holiday week? So that would have affected our stats and our data. There's no way to split test it, in other words. What we did was we made it very easy to actually split test schedule groups in WebinarFuel. So this is schedule group 1 for me. As you can see, it offers the webinar at 12, 3, and 6 p.m. I also, as you can see, have another schedule group. This schedule group has a completely different setup. It happens every day at just in time on the hour. Now you can create just in time every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour. So what this means is at the top of the hour, every single hour of the day, we have a session starting. We also have one starting tomorrow at 6, and then every day at 6. So basically you can join at 6 o'clock p.m. or you can join just in time. There are a lot of other things that we do with our schedules. You can look through some of the other feature lists and see that, where it tells you how many sessions it shows in the drop down, all that. But basically we have 2 different schedules here. What I want to do is find out which one of these schedules is going to convert more sales and get more people on the webinar. So the way that you do this in WebinarFuel is so simple. You create the schedule, and then what you do is you go over to your widgets. Okay, now if you look through our widgets and how we create widgets inside of WebinarFuel, this is essentially what's going to get people registered for your webinar. It's the button that you would put on your website that takes them through this registration process. You'll see that version 1 right here, if I go to the settings, is using schedule group 1. And you'll see that I have a version 2 here. Version 2 looks just the same. All right, so my widget looks just the same. Nothing has changed. The only difference is that it uses schedule group 2. All right, and then what you're able to do is, once you've put the widget code on your page, you can go in here and add variations to the widget and split test the widget, and again split test additional schedule groups by tying one to each version of your widget here. And you don't have to do anything on your website at all. Okay, the code's already there. It's going to just do whatever you tell it to do. And then you can look right here at your stats. Okay, so I've clicked on this little stat button right here, and the stats show you all the stats for this webinar. So for instance, version 1 has produced 17 leads. That's 17 people that gave us their email address but did not finish registering. But it's produced 192 registrations. Version 2 has produced 174 registrations and 17 leads. So we've gotten more people actually registered over here on this one. You can see it's a 10% conversion versus a 9%. And then you can also see what the sales percentage is. So if I'm looking at my sales here, okay, and this is what's really important. We are converting 5% of the people from version 1 of this widget, and only 3% from version 2. So even though version 2 might end up with a higher attendance rate, right? Which you can see right here. This is the show rate. We've had 90 people show up from the schedule attached to version 2 of our widget, and we've had 88 people show up from the schedule attached to version 1. But we've sold more. We've sold 5% of these people. One of the likely reasons is because if you recall, version 1 was at a specific time, 12, 3, or 6, meaning people had time to prepare to get on the webinar. The second version of this had the just-in-time feature, which is they could register and possibly get on in the next few minutes or in the next 15 minutes, and they may not have had enough time to stay for the full length of the webinar. That could be the reason. There could be a multitude of reasons. But one of the most important things is to see that, obviously, the timing of the schedule for version 1 is producing a higher front-end conversion rate. So we are selling more people, okay, when we use that particular version. And so there are a lot of different things that you can split test with your widgets, but one of the most important things is the actual schedule of the events. And that is done by simply tying different schedule groups to each version of your registration widget. This is a very powerful feature, one that does not exist in other platforms, and one that we are really, really excited to bring to all of our users. If you don't have a trial to WebinarFuel already, or you don't have an account with WebinarFuel, you can obviously get a completely free trial and try this software out. If you're a coach, a course creator, you do masterminds, if you do anything where you need to sell something online, using WebinarFuel is going to help you create more sales more efficiently and at larger scale than doing live webinars or using any of the other platforms that automate webinars. We built automated sales machines, and this is just one of the profit levers that helps us get there. So make sure you check out the rest of our features. We have a tremendous amount of features that are going to help you generate more conversions, and make sure you get a trial to WebinarFuel.